and I'm here to bring you exactly that. High-level professional day trading education, all here for free on YouTube and on X. On tonight, we are going to be discussing something that I said would happen on Monday. I said it right here, in fact, and we'll get into that. We're going to go over 3 specific trades that I took, and really it's 2 of those trades were the exact same trade, but you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. I hope you all had a wonderful day. Give me one quick sec. We are going to rock and roll. I'm going to fire up my charts. Is that it? Yep, that is it. Let's rock and roll. Okay, I hope you guys are all doing really, really well here today. And let's get into it. So first of all, stay tuned to the end, because that's where I'm going to be discussing the importance of the daily chart and talking about a secondary topic. Right now, we're going to do the trade analysis and dissection. And today we had our trade plans that are designed at 9 a.m. We don't deviate from these trade plans. That's what makes us so different. A lot of people will just strictly respond and basically like a crow to a shiny object. They're bouncing around all over the place. Our trade plans are designed at 9 a.m. East every single day. That's what these blue levels basically represent. These are our technicals. And then I design a full-blown trade plan with contingencies in case it doesn't want to work. We have a way out of that position. So in this trade here today, this one happened very fast. Not many members grabbed it just because at the open it dipped. It dipped very fast. It was a quick wash, but it came right into our starting area and executed. I got a what I considered at the time was an absolute horrible entry because it did come down very, very fast. But it really ended up being not overly bad. And then just worked along all the way into my target. And that's exactly what I did. So entry, that's the blue triangle. And then the red triangles are my exits. Worked it right up into my resistance. That's my target. First target you see here is pre-market highs, although it shot up very quick. So as it was shooting up, I am paying myself into that resistance. And then as it approaches this level, I am executing and taking it off again. So overall, really, really nice trade. Happened fast, but nice trade. Locking in $3,230 on that. The premium really spiked on this one. Very nice trade. It's almost a 100% trade within a 1-minute candle. That's how wild this is. So absolutely beautiful on that. Now let's talk about the 2 other trades, that I took that are essentially the exact same trade. So for every long, there is a short. For every short, there's a long. So what did I do? Well, we went long, took it into my target, then ultimately went short, right up into our levels. So let's go over SPY first. So SPY, really nice. As it comes flying up into the level, I execute. Pops up. I get in my size. This is what I consider a pressure trade because I am looking for a first reaction into that. And sure enough, ended up getting an absolutely monster move. So my entry is just above 1. It's at about $1.20 per contract. And my best sell was at about 270, 275. So well over 100% trade on that. So that's 2 100% trades and counting for a beautiful Thursday morning. So locking in on that $5,286, very standard, straightforward type of trade. Execute the resistance, and then immediately as it's washing into support, I am paying myself, and that's what that is. And then just obviously running the trade down and working it into a lower support level of moving averages. It came very close into moving averages, so paid myself out, held on to a few, and then ultimately just stopped out on it. Like I said, locking in $5,286 on SPY. Let me clean this up, and now let's go over Qs. Qs was even better because of the way that it went absolutely ballistic straight up into that level. So on Qs was really, really interesting because we were backed by a lot of protection in this one. And I'll zoom in on the daily chart so then you guys can see it and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you take a look, this trade on Qs was an if trade. Okay. Like if it happens, we weren't expecting it to happen because that's a lot of distance for it to open up, right? Where it opened and then push all the way up in 2 1-minute candles is absolutely ridiculous. I was expecting it to trigger somewhere around this time or later, which is, past the time that we would normally be trading. Hopefully you guys can see that sun looks like it's right in my camera lens, but that's all right. So it gave us that perfect opportunity. This is where I did really want to pressure in. It's one of those trades, when I call it an if trade, the odds of it happening in the morning are very low. I'm expecting a late morning, early afternoon, or late afternoon type of entry on it, which I wouldn't be around to actually grab that trade because I don't trade at that time. I just trade the first hour of the day and that's it. So it gave us that entry. So when you get given a gift, you need to seize the opportunity. And that's exactly what I did. So as fast as I could hit those entries to buy, I did. Then I waited for a perfect opportunity to, once it really confirmed, let me show you that confirmation here on the 1-minute chart. So as it kind of bails and pops back up, that's where I'm entering on that candle, and then just immediately start paying myself really, really nice, and then work this one all the way up. If you take a look, my entry there, my best entry is at $2, and this went to my best sell at about 470-ish. So again, what's that? Third 100+% trade on the day. All within, this isn't holding overnight. This isn't doing any of that. This is trading the first 30, 40 minutes of the market open. That's it. And this is what this strategy produces. So those were the trades. Oh, and I locked in $7,997 on that. So a little bit better than 15 grand on the day for trading. Again, very simple support and resistance. There's very little to this. What I focus on and where my job comes in is more of the mentality and psychology. Obviously, there's more to the strategy than what you're just seeing here. I worked my ass off to get it that way, and that's for members. But for the most part, it's a very clear cut, very very simple day trading strategy. I don't complicate it. I keep it very simple, and that's for a reason, because simplicity works. So those were the trades. Now I want to talk about something else. Now I'm going to play something for you. It's just going to be a real quick clip. If you want to watch it, you can go watch it yourself. I've been talking about this all week. I believe I spoke about it in the mentoring live class on Sunday, but give me one sec. You'll be able to hear it. I'm going to open this up. Absolutely atrocious spot to stop it here, but that's okay. So this is the trade recap from Monday. So Monday's trade recap here, price action chart analysis, you won't want to miss. Stock market 2025. That's it. Okay. So we're going to hit play and you're going to listen. It's going to be immediate what I'm saying. So let's listen. Wednesday or Thursday, that's when your timing is right for this to finally break out or break down. And that's on both of these. So if you take a look at this, do you see how it's too immature? There's too much space here and there's too much space here in that trend. Now, can it break out or break down tomorrow? Sure, it can. But I'm talking about the odds. Where are the odds? The odds dictate this needs more time to wedge up and then break out or break down. And that should happen on about Thursday is when we're going to get a true. So what's the day today, folks? Well, it's Thursday. So, and there's no crystal ball shit to this. There's none of that, right? Like, and I'm not putting this out here for some sort of just like weird pat on my back. I'm trying to show to you that all of the things that you think matter in the market, like news, numbers, data, all of that shit, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. That is all noise designed to fuck up retail traders' minds. This is why what I said a few minutes ago about keeping strategy simple, This is why it matters. I've seen so many traders through the years have no idea. They've been trading for years, haven't made a dime in the market, and it's for a reason because they don't know what type of trader they are. They're news-based traders, fundamental traders, technical traders, all sorts of shit. They don't know what type of trader they are. I know what I am. I am a technical-based trader looking for short-term opportunities based off support and resistance, first reactions. That's it. That's me in a nutshell, right? So how did I know Thursday at a minimum, that's when it will break out, okay? And it will pick a direction. Well, it's technicals, right? It's just looking at these charts rationally, right? And knowing what we know about technicals. Like I drew earlier, and that was on this day here, this red day, okay? That was the day I was talking about. And in that time, there's just way too much distance left of that trend. Like, when you have a trend, and I'll draw it out here. I'm just going to like move this over to some like black screen. So when you have a trend, so let's say it's a flat top, just like on SPY, and you have this. Well, you have an apex. Well, each day, do you see where my crosshairs snap? Each day or each snap of those crosshairs is a day, right? So if your trend has been doing this and it's been working that trend very beautifully up and down, and it's doing exactly, it's following it. And let's say this is this day here. I should have come over a little bit more to actually line up, but there's the day, right? Well, how many days left do you have before ultimately it has to pick a direction? Has to. Well, you have 1, 2, 3 days left, right? Because what stocks won't do, if you take a look at this, is flatline. They're not just going to flatline straight across and trade within a penny or two, right? They don't do that. We don't trade a liquid bullshit stocks. So what does it have to do? Well, it now has 3 days to come up, come down, and ultimately, if it gets to that last day and it's up high, it has to break out. It has to. Now, obviously, it can break down as well. But what we know, how do we use that information? Because some people may look at that and say, well, it's either going to go up or it's going to go down. You don't know what direction it is. Yeah, but you're prepared, right? When you know it's testing multiple times up at highs and it can't break out, well, what does that tell you? It's giving you information there. So we have an ability now to know when to watch for a big support test. If it comes down, and just like in the morning there, that morning triggered very quickly, okay? There were orders waiting there. So they're starting to acquire and accumulate their position. Now, the reason why, and I'll explain to you, and I know this recap's getting a little long and drawn up, but I hope you guys pay attention. One of the reasons why you might be wondering, well, why did you choose short? Why were you in short? Because you're not thinking far enough ahead. What institutions do is they're going to rope shorts in. Okay? But I'm okay being one of those shorts that they're going to rope into the play. Okay? Because what they're going to do is this. And I called this right here. And you can ask the members right there, and the exact same play on SPY. Okay? SPY did the exact same thing. I drew this out and I said it was, if that thing holds, this thing's off to the races. And that's what it did right there. And those were levels that I drew before it even hit that. And I said, if it comes down and tests that, it's going to rock it. So to get to this point, right, it looks like it's about to break down right there. Right in here and right in here and then right in here is an area for retail shorts to, now that it's broke support, they will chase it down. So number one, they get the proper shorts. They get all this volume from shorts in here. Most retail traders don't pay themselves the way I pay myself. I'm out of this position into targets. Okay. So I'm okay taking that short. So they have to drive it up into resistance. It will then fail resistance. It will then come down to support. It will fail support. If it retests and remounts and holds, that's it. Now they've got you. Because most shorts, now that it's starting to come up, they're not going to get in on it, and they're going to start to get squeezed. And then as that day goes on, it'll squeeze those shorts and drive it up where they've already entered in here and institutions have entered in here any chance they get, because they know what the plan is. Another thing that I've always talked about is, if we know that the stock market is rigged, everybody says that. Everybody says it on repeat. Oh, the market's manipulated. The stock market's rigged. Okay, cool. Who cares? If you know that, then use that fucking information to your advantage and stop bitching about it. There's nothing more that drives me fucking crazy than when people piss and moan that the stock market is rigged and manipulated. Well, if you know that, that's information. Exploit your opponent and use it to your advantage. If you know that your opponent is fucking with you, right? How do you get fucked? It's the same thing as like if you go up to some guy in the street and you go buy some fucking bag of grass off him or something, and you know the guy's a piece of shit, right? Are you going to buy that fucking bag of dope off him? No. Why would you? Because he's a piece of shit. So, okay. It's the same thing here. That might be a weird analogy and example, but it's the same thing. If you know your opponent is a piece of shit, then don't let it trap you. Be ahead of the game. And that's all this boils down to be. And I know that this chart right now looks super messy and weird and wild. But again, how did I know Thursday would be the day? Even with all the news, all the catalyst, all of the data that's come out since Monday, all of that, did it matter? No, because Thursday's the day. Now, could it have waited a couple more days? Absolutely, it could have. It could have, right? But that's getting you on the balls of your feet, ready to pounce. That's the day. And because I'm not going to hold all day long, okay, right? What I was talking about before, why I went short, because I'm not holding all day long. I've got shit to do. I don't want to sit in front of the market and in front of my monitors like an absolute slave all day long. I won't do that. So I know I can take advantage of the short when they drive it down into support. I'm just one step ahead of it. That's all. It's where most people stop their thought, like, oh, I can go long if it's going to break out on that day because it's up at highs. I can go long. Well, you can do that, and you will have a bigger play, right? That you would technically or could technically make more money. But there's a trade-off between time and money. And for me, I will gladly get the fuck out of the market earlier. And did it matter? I took 3 trades today. Each trade was 100% or more in the first hour of the market open. So what does it matter? So all of this boils down to experience and knowledge and education. If you don't take that serious as a trader, you're fucking doomed. You're doomed. That's why 90% fail. They'll never reach an even bare base minimal layer of consistency because they actually don't do this right. They have no desire to do it right. They just try and make money. That's fucking retarded. So if you want to come learn how to do this properly and professionally, come to tricktrades.com. If not, and you want to continue on with the free stuff, then you're scrolling and doom scrolling on YouTube and Instagram and all that, by all means do so. That's why I have 1,000 free videos for people just like you that just want the free stuff. Cool. But keep in mind, it's going to take you a whole hell of a lot longer because you're going to have to piece all this shit together. Good luck with that. You can. It's just going to take you a long time. But if not, come to tricktrades.com. Okay, guys. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Great job today for all the members. You guys fucking absolutely amazing. Their entries and exits charts look absolutely beautiful. Perfection. Great job today, guys. And I will see you all tomorrow. Adios.